Welcome back to the Realtor Way. Today, our topic of discussion is going to be condominiums. Why I chose this topic of discussions is because what I mainly deal in is selling condominiums to people, and oftentimes people sometimes come to me saying, what exactly does a condominium mean? I mean, we have the internet, we have all of these things that you can get to know what it means, but maybe someone needs a better explanation to in the layman's language. So that's why I thought of describing and talking about condominiums. So what exactly is a condo, or what exactly is a condominium? So when I say a condominium, it's basically you owning an an apartment unit. Just like how you see, let's say if you have a storied building, and then the storied building has about, let's say, 3 floors. So it has a ground floor, the first floor, and the second floor. Let's say if each floor has 2 apartments per floor, that means the block is basically going to have about 6 apartments in total. Let's say if the units are having 2 bedrooms per unit, so meaning that is a 2 bedroom apartment block. So when you go, let's say you're going to rent a unit of its own, you'll rent a 2 bedroom apartment. Let's say you're going to rent a 2 bedroom apartment on the second floor. Yeah, so that means you're renting that apartment and you have to pay for it monthly. Now when it comes to a condo, that means you can actually own that apartment unit. So it means you're going to have a title of ownership to that apartment unit, and then you can resell, you can rent it out, you can as well, you can stay in it as your own house. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so basically that is what a condominium means. It means you can own a unit of an apartment block, have a title to it, so that you are actually the owner. I highlighted out some points here, so that's why I keep looking here. So you own it as an owner to that apartment. So when someone says it's a condominium, it means you basically have that unit as your own apartment that you own, but you also have some shared spaces with your neighbors, like the staircases, if there are amenities, let's say like a swimming pool, and if there's going to be security, such kinds of amenities. So that those are the shared spaces that you get to share with your other neighbors. So you have to always collect, in a condominium society, you collect condominium fees. It could be monthly, it could be let's say half a year, depending on what your condominium association has agreed on. Now that money that you collect, let's say monthly, if you collect about, let's say, 20,000 Ugandan shillings, that means that money is going to cater for refuse, garbage, for security, for maintaining the swimming pool, basically such kinds of things. And then when I say condominium association, it means those that is the basically your society in that condominium community that you're staying in. So if on that block that has 6 apartments, that means that is you could form a condominium association for that specific, for that community. So you people will have the condominium association, it could be registered, so you get to share these some of these duties to yourselves. Yeah, so what are some of the advantages to staying in a condominium? Usually people like to stay in condominiums because they feel it's more secure, since you're living with other people. And usually condominiums are also cheaper compared to bungalows or villas, etc, because really you're owning space, you're owning that unit, and then you're sharing some other spaces with other people. Now on average, you could find a 2 bedroom apartment in Uganda, for example. I'll use Uganda because that is where I have experienced most of it. Yeah, so in Uganda, a 2 bedroom apartment on average could be going at about Ugandan shillings 200 million in a residential place, like let's say Nigeria, Nalia, Kirana, Mugongo. On average it could be going at 200 million. Yes, so, and yet if you're to compare with bungalow prices could be a little bit high, because you could get yourself a bungalow going at about 350 million. Yeah, so basically it's usually cheaper, and then you're also owning it in perpetuity. That means you can resell, you can stay in it, you can rent it out, your children are going to inherit it. Yeah, so basically that is it. Now how can you own a condominium? How to own a condominium is basically you having the title that shows that you own that unit to yourself. That title is called a condominium title. Yeah, so if you get to own that, if you have that title, you are owning a condominium apartment already. How to own it is by paying for the apartment. Usually most of these real estate developers give you a payment plan where you're going to have to pay in installments. Usually what they do in Uganda is that they give you a payment plan where you're going to pay while construction is going on. So you pay in installments, and then when construction is finished, usually you're also almost done with your payments, and then you can easily move into your apartment when they're at 100% of payment, and then you get your condominium title. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this video was helpful. Share it, subscribe to my channel for more such details, and then see you next time.